All right, 10Q versus 10Q. Let's go ahead and review. What has we here? And I will move that over there. Cool. All right, so what do we got here? That is a weird move. So this says that you kind of want to play something on the left to get like a framework going, but it's a weird thing to do because usually we would either just enclose either large knight, small knight, one space, maybe even two space these days. All those are fine. Or we'll usually approach the open corner or an open corner, whether it's this one or another one. Very rarely we'll set up like a variation of a micro Chinese or a mini Chinese, but those are more complicated ideas. Playing this just kind of says you want to expand, but it seems to imply that you're afraid to approach. And we're not really setting up a Fuseki, so it's kind of this like weird middle of the road, not really doing any one thing very well. It still allows this, the easy approaches from white. Let's see, white approaching on the inside. Okay, respecting it. I would not play that ever. Definitely difficult Joseki to play, this one, because you're committing to giving him influence. Or insane amounts of territory, because you know the left-hand side right now that Black wants to build. So if we play this sequence out, let's see, do you get it correctly? Ouch. So we play here, here, into here, here, here. This is the normal variation for this Joseki. Now, I'm not going to go over all of this because we'll be here for an hour. Suffice it to say, there's a lot of variations involving this one that Black probably won't play. Black will probably just play something as simple as this one and force you to play that. At which point we have to wonder why we're giving away an enclosure and two extensions to our opponents when we could have just taken a base, even played like an old school kind of thing here, rather than be, was it this one? Yes. Rather than be kind of like cast down to the second line. And now we're just making like 5 points if we're lucky. It's not a good result. There are ways to use it, of course, but those are not simple variations, despite the fact that this looks like a simple Joseki. A lot of the AI ones can be difficult in that regard. Now I understand why you played D10. Not gonna lie, I don't approve. The idea here, now that I see it, is you're planning the 3/3 invasion and you want this D10 stone to be blocking his influence. So we have a kind of gotcha moment in the lower left-hand corner. The problem is influence isn't really removed that easily. I like what he's doing here. What White's doing here, kind of blocking us way, but we're noticing immediately that we need to defend D10. So we're committing to playing passively now because our stone needs defense. And if we're lucky, we've made like 8 points here in the corner in exchange for having to defend and possibly give away Sente, which is really, really, really awkward. Now, the way we're doing it here is a bit complicated because you're inviting exactly the turn. And I think now you're dead. If your opponent plays this way, dead corner. So you can kind of see immediately with the first fight that breaks out, because we're giving our opponent like this influence from the 3/3, the D10 stone didn't help us from just immediately dropping dead. There's complicated fights here. The influence is going to crash against any weak stone in the area, not to mention constantly do life and death checks in the corner, and it's just no bueno. You're much better off just playing something like this, for example. Maybe you get kicked here, maybe you don't. And just getting some territory. Nice, simple, easy points. We're not in danger of suddenly dropping dead. We haven't given our opponent insane amounts of influence to counterattack and kind of, destroy us with. It is going to be a lot easier. But yeah, here there's 1,000 ways to just die. Here, you're going to insist on doing it. Extend one more time. That way you're probably not going to die in the corner. You're probably going to do this one instead still. Again, I don't recommend it because your life and death check in your corner again. And this little diagonal group is in a lot of trouble. It needs a lot of help, which means you have no time to block an extension off of this wall, which will be way more than 8 points. Here, white should just drop down, remain as solid as possible. And at this point, I would start ignoring my opponent. I'll play this one because it's Sente. I'll probably play this one. I know my opponent owes me a move here, or I'm going to attack the 3 stones and destroy them. But if he dares actually defend right now, I'm going to just keep growing. And the influence that we have, the territory that we're building, is vastly outpacing Black's development here. That is just the curse of the 3-3. It looks simple and easy. It's dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous, even for Dawn level players. Here, you had a chance to live, I think, if you play this one. But here, there's a free move, so I think you're kind of maybe dying. All I can see here is possible co, or never mind, you're just dead. No, yeah, possible co, because it's sucky. And we don't want co for life right now. I mean, obviously, that would be bad. Here, no, you're not. Seki still. Later on, you can play here. Into that one. I think it's okay because we can't do, yeah, it's not bent 4 because it'd be that one, and that one. So it'd be like 5 bent or something. I think it's okay. However, I would say you can't play that one. You should defend because the minute you play here, notice the cutting point. Opponent defends, and then you play it away. You can't hold that because we can't Atari, because Atari, death, and Atari, death. And if we back off, we should just resign. Like, this is not going to go well. It's like, we can't do here because, again, death. So we're just going to run and run on the second line. Ow, 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 ow. That's game. Like, even if you're alive, and sure, you're alive, you're not going to be happy about being alive right now. Because we're literally getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Ouch, pain, pain. This is one of the most common mistakes for DDKs will make. They will drop to the first line like this, rather than make a more secure shape. And sadly, your opponent will follow you because there's a lot of puppy go at DDK level, where they just kind of like follow each other around. Like one player is literally walking the other. But I definitely don't want to do that because, yeah, cutting points, we're actually removing a liberty off of us because here we have 1, 2, 3. Here we have 3, but suddenly we have 2 because it cuts Sente. Very, very sad. Noticed it. Nice. Oh my God. Okay, I want to be nice. Don't double 3-3, please. Please, please, please. You need to work on your foundation. We need to work on cutting points, shape, which we've just failed in the lower left-hand corner. We need to work on where big moves are, a whole bunch of other things before we're going to play something complicated. Because right now you may have just, despite the fact that we got free moves, we're offering a lot to our opponent right now. Like right now, if white just turns and plays here, they're trying to make 50 points on the bottom of the board. And if you allow that to happen, you lose the game because black does not have 50 points on the board right now. Like there's 50 there plus 10 at least on the top for 60. That's bad. Even if we try and do, the standard follow-up thing, it's no good. It's too much, especially since this group here is still under attack. I like this is patient. I like it. I think you can probably just let him play here as long as we get the attack on the left-hand side. Being roots on the bottom is not going to be a big deal because these kind of games don't wind up very territory heavy for the person who's 3-3 because we double tap both corners to get only 15 points. That's not even 10 points more than Comey. And we're already making it top of the board. So Comey plus top territory equals both corners right now, let alone the bottom and the attack that we have on the left-hand side. So you could put it this way. I'd approach normally. There's no weird tricky stuff here. If you play something like this, even something as simple as this shape really starts to highlight the 3 stones here being a lot of trouble. This transposed into a 3-3 variation, and I would absolutely change plays because an attack is worth infinity points. This group having to defend itself means move after move after move that your opponent isn't making territory with. They're just trying not to die. And as long as they're just trying not to die, for example, well, we can profit off their refusing to be dead. Like, we can harass this for a very long time. And by the time they do get Sente, like now, to counterattack, it's too late. We've kind of sealed off. That is why a weak group is worth infinity points. This isn't terrible. That is, because once again, it's the same thing. That kind of, we've gone to the first line. We left a weak point inside, so there's a throw in into all sorts of dying. This group is now dead in corner. Okay. This point probably better off protecting cutting point flat out. Black needs to get into the bottom of the board. How are we going to do that one? I mean, ideally, the idea would be forcing move and then look at the sector line and then don't go behind it. Otherwise, we'll be sealed in and then we'll have to live locally. So what we could do here is be like, it's not DDK. Okay, sure. I would say sector line first. At DDK level, I'd say sector line first. Now, on your way to Dawn level, you might play a forcing move first, or 2 forcing moves first, and then going back there. The reason why we can do that is because if your opponent plays even 1 move as a defense, suddenly there's extra forcing moves from the inside ones that we've literally just gotten rid of. So we have value there. Again, don't try this. This is just food for thought as you're going to down level. For now, it's just basics, which is sector line, don't go behind it, or you risk death. So something like this one. Maybe here because of the cutting point. But make sure you get out of that sector line ASAP. Sector line is growing. Gotta reduce the middle or we're gonna lose a game. Nas, be bolder. Well, actually not bolder, be more not crazy. Problem here is the cutting points will probably kill you. I expect this into this, let that die, and then just keep taking the middle of the board. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was referring. Yeah, let those die. Oh, ouch. Nope, let them die. Let them die. We don't care about those. Hold the line, and you win. This is what we don't want, because suddenly, like, there's a group with literally 3 liberties here. So we can't counterattack black right now because we're literally 3 moves from death. Now he's gotten in. I think that's it. That one, that cut was going to be the end of it right there. Yeah, ladder doesn't work anymore because that stone, huh? Owie. Good sight. Good sight. Unfortunately, now it's just like there's no way to save this. You can Atari, but I mean, this isn't going well. Ow, ow, ow. And then the other group's in trouble still. It's just all sorts of pain. Yeah, black wins this. Here, I wouldn't get greedy. I just take the stones. You can have that if he wants. Who cares? Finish off that. Game over. think that's gonna be the end of this game. Black, yeah, black's up. Black's up. Right? Black won, question mark. Estimate score. Black won by 5 only? Wowzers. All right.
Yeah, that was a close one.
Closer than it should have been. Missed that last attack, which is a habit that I get into as well. Because after a capture like that, I figure, the game's done, right? So we can start backing off. That's the last thing that you want to do. Because like right now, if we just like went into here, then that dies too. And it's just, ugh, yeah. Anyway. Hope. Who was a 3-3? Black, hope you don't take my comments too harshly, but right now it's a bit of a thing with me that I always try to impress upon people the danger of playing those particular moves right now.
And everyone's playing it because of AI suggesting it super often. So
yeah, but the AI can read 30,000 moves a second pretty much. So there's a bit of a difference there.
yeah, I get it.
Yeah. All right. There's no questions. We can look at game numero 2.